Welcome back to another project. In this project, we are going to create blurred background pop-up. As you can see from the final version of the project, we have our main website, which is very simple. It has a background image with a title and also a call to action button, which saying click to join. When we click on this button, a pop-up window appears from the top with a transition, and also we have a blurred background in the back. The pop-up window has an input for email and also a join button and also a close icon at the top right. When we click on the close icon, the pop-up window disappears and also our main website returns to normal and without any filter or blurriness. We can try it again. In the next section, we're going to start with the HTML part of our project. So see you in the next section. All right, let's start our project. First, we open the Visual Studio Code, and here we close the Get Started tab. In the File menu, we click on the Open folder. I would like to create the project as usual in my desktop, but you can create it anywhere you like in your computer. So we click here on the desktop, and we click here on the New Folder button to create a new folder. We name the folder, for example, Background Image Scroll Effect, which is the name of our project. We press Enter, and here we click on the Select Folder button to select the folder. We close the Get Started tab again, and on the left side in the Explorer section, we right-click and we click on the New File to create an HTML file. We name the file index.html, and we press Enter. Now on the right side, we have our index.html file, which is completely empty, but we can use an exclamation point to create an HTML5 boilerplate. So we write an exclamation point and we click on the first auto suggestion. Now we have our HTML5 boilerplate, and the first line is doc type, which tells the browser what version of HTML the page is written in. And in our case, as we are using HTML5, we just need to have HTML here. Then the HTML tag, which is the top level element inside the HTML5, and inside that tag we have head and body tags. The lang attribute inside the HTML opening tag sets the language of the page. And as we are using English, we just need to have en here. The head tag includes the metadata tags and also the title tag. The chart set attribute inside the meta tag, the first meta tag, sets the HTML character encoding, which is UTF-8, and UTF-8 is recommended by HTML5 because it nearly contains all the characters and symbols that may user see in our project. Then we have the compatibility meta tag, which tells the Internet Explorer browser to use the most recent rendering engine, which is Edge. The viewport meta tag tells the browser on how to resize the page. Let's use Alt-C to turn on the word wrap so we can see all the codes. The content attribute here inside the viewport meta tag sets the page's width, the device's screen's width, and also sets the initial zoom level of the browser to be 100%. Then we have the title tag, which sets the title of the page. In order to see the browser inside the Visual Studio Code, we can use the Live Preview extension. We just need to right-click here, and we click on the Live Preview Show Preview. Now we have the browser on the right side, which is completely empty, but with the title document. Let's close this Explorer section by dragging this line to the left side, and we have now more space on the right side. Let's change this title to our project's name, which is Background Image Scroll Effect. You can see the background image scroll effect in the tab of the browser as the title. And inside the body section, we create a div with a class of background image. We just write bg image And we added ID of BG image as well, background image. This is just an empty div that we're going to use later CSS to change the background image of this empty div. But for now, we just leave it like this. And then we have the main container that our website's text and titles goes there. So we just write down .container. And inside this container, we have a h1 tag. We just say welcome to our website. After this h1 tag, we're going to have a paragraph that inside it we have just some Lauren pick some texts. And we're just going to copy this paragraph a few times to have more text. So when we are scrolling, we can see the scroll effect. This is just a simple website that we're going to use. This is not important. The important part is this background image that we're going to add the zoom and opacity effect using JavaScript to it. In the next section, we're going to start styling our project and add the background image using CSS. So see you in the next section. All right, in the last section, we have finished with the HTML part of our project. In this section, we're going to start styling our project using CSS. First, we create a CSS file. Here, we open the Explorer section using Ctrl-Shift-B. And on the left side, in the Explorer section, we right-click and we click on the new file. We name the file style.css. Before using CSS in our project, we must add a link to the CSS file within the HTML code. So we switch to index.html, and just after the title tag, we add a link tag. We just write link and we click on the third auto suggestion, the one with the CSS. Now we have a link tag with the relationship between the HTML file and the external style sheet. And the href attribute here defines the destination of the link. And as both files are located at the same directory, we just need to have style.css for the href or the URL. Now we can use CSS in our project. We save this file using Ctrl-S. We close this Explorer section by dragging this line to the left to have more space on the right side. And we go to style.css and we start from styling the body section of the project. So we just write body and we open a set of curly braces. First, we remove the default margin, the space around the body section, and we just write margin 0. And we change the font family to sans serif. That was it for the body section. Next, we're going to style the background image div, the empty div. We're going to add some image to it. So we just target it by .bg image. First, we set the height and width. We just say width 100% and height 100% of the viewport height, which means 100% of the screen size. You can see now the div at the top. It's completely empty, but we added background image to it. In order to have the background image, I would like to use the website called Unsplash. So we go to desktop, we click on Google Chrome, and here in the search bar, we search Unsplash. In the search result, in the first one, we have unsplash.com. We click on the Unsplash beautiful free images and pictures. And in the search bar, we search for example, nature. All right, and here we can choose one of them. I just choose this image of ocean. So we right click here and we click on copy image address and we go back to Visual Studio Code, and here we add a background property and we use the URL function to add the external image. So we add a double quote here and we paste the link. Now we can see the image on the right side. But we want this image to be fixed at the top, and when we are going down, yeah, that's fine for now. And then later using, let's first change the background position to be center. So we see the center of the image, and we change the background attachment to fixed. So as you can see, the background became fixed, and when you're moving down, they don't move. We just go to the. So this is all right for our project. The only things we need to do is just when we're scrolling down, we zoom out the image and also change the opacity. All right. So let's install this h1 tag and also the paragraphs here before going to the JavaScript part. So the div that contains this one has the class of container. So we target that, and we change the padding to be 100 pixels to push everything inside. We just check this one in the browser. Yeah, here it's fine for this size, but let's add some media query. So we just say media query if the max width is 500 pixels. I mean, when we have a screen smaller than 500 pixels, we want this dot container has only like a 10 pixel padding. All right, now it looks fine. When we increase the size, you see that the image like this. That's actually not important. Our website, the design, this picture is important that we're going to style later. And let's change the size of this heading. So we target H1 and we just say, we change the font size and we set it to be 50 pixels. We can see in the browser. And as you can see, the image has some repeated effect on the top. We can fix this one by just adding the background size to, for example, 160%. And if we check the browser now it's actually in the zoom mode. And when we are scrolling down, we want to zoom out the image. So we're going to have a zooming effect later using JavaScript. Yeah. And let's also increase, the paragraph looks fine to me. Just change the color of the paragraph. We set it to be gray. All right. So that was it for the CSS part of our project. In the next section, we're going to add functionality to our project using JavaScript. We're going to add zooming and opacity effect when we are scrolling down the project. So see you in the next section for the JavaScript part of our project. All right, in the last section, we have finished with the CSS part of our project. We added a background image, and also we styled our main website. In this section, we're going to add functionality to our project using JavaScript. First, we need to create a JavaScript file, and here we open the Explorer section using Ctrl-Shift-E. On the left side, in the Explorer section, we right-click and we click on the new file to create a JavaScript file. We name the file index.js. Before using JavaScript in our project, we must add a link to the JavaScript file within the HTML code. So we switch to index.html, and just at the end of the body section, we add a script tag. We just write SC and we click on the second auto suggestion, the one with the src. As both files, I mean the index.html and the index.js are located at the same directory, we just need to have index.js for the URL. Now we can use JavaScript in our project. First, we save the file using Ctrl-S. We close this Explorer section by dragging the line to the left, and we go to index.js and we start coding our JavaScript. The first element we need to bring is just this background image, which is here, a div with a class of background image and an ID of background image. We can use getElementById method to return an element with the ID attribute. So inside the JavaScript file, we just add a constant and we call it background image element, and we equal it to document.getElementById. And the ID was background image. We can use Alt-C to turn on the world wrap so we can see all the codes. And we want to add event listener to the window. So when we're scrolling, we can track the scroll. So we just write here window.add event listener. The event we want to add is a scroll. And we want this, when this event happens, a callback function triggers, and we want to call a function and update the size and also the opacity of the image. So we call a function, we just make a function, we call it update image, and we create the function here. We just call it update image. So in this object image, we're going to target this element, which is this background image, and we're going to change the, first we change the opacity. So we're going to change the style. So we just write dot style and we change the opacity. The opacity, we want to start when it's full, we are in the top, we want to have just 1, the opacity to be 1, and we want to decrease it by when we are scrolling. We can calculate the scroll by just using window.page y offset. All right. And then we want this number to be divided by a big number like 800. So this number will be smaller than 1. And we want to minus 1, use 1 minus this number. So now when we're scrolling down, you see the opacity of the background image is changing. We can console log this to see the number. So we console log 2 things. The windows.offset and also 1 minus windows.offset divided by 800. So we open the console here using this hamburger icon and open DevTools pane, and we go to console section and we scroll down. As we scroll down, you see that the Windows Y offset is 2 something, and then the opacity starts from 99% and it's going down when you're scrolling down. And finally, when we reach to the bottom, you see that the opacity is going to 0 and also getting the minus. And this opacity page offset is 837. So we can choose different numbers so we don't get minus. So we can change this one to 900. It depends on the zoom level and the screen size of your, but it doesn't matter. Even the opacity becomes negative. All right. Now we added the opacity. Let's change the background size, and we start from this 160% background size. So we just target the background image element dot style dot background size, and we change the background size from 160% and we decrease it by this window dot page y offset. And also this one is a percentage, so we should add a percentage at the end. So when we are going down, you see that this one is getting smaller, but this number is very big. So we divide it by, for example, 12. So now we see that the zoom level is okay. Let's test it inside the real browser, the Google Chrome. So as you can see, when you're going down, the zoom level is decreasing, and also we're having more opacity at the top. In different zoom level, you can see it as well. Yeah. Yeah, that was it for our project. I hope you enjoyed and learned many things. We have used CSS to style our background image and fix it at the top. And also we used JavaScript to change the opacity and the background size of the background image when we are scrolling down. So see you in the next project.